So the market's down a little bit today, which is great. That gives us a chance to actually reset and kind of analyze what's coming up and what we want to look at, right? Now, I want to cover today some top altcoin gems primed for this year. Do keep in mind this isn't financial advice. These are some of my picks that I am deeply interested in that I'm sharing with you and my thoughts on why I like them. I think you'll see why I like them. Now, we all want to know what's hot. The problem is, by the time it is hot, the amazing gains have already been partially realized. 3 weeks ago, good example, I covered both here and in my Telegram group some little gems. Now, I know some of you did your own research and made some amazing gains on them after buying some, and that's Intersola and Solminter. Intersola is a Solana Launchpad bringing some of the hot new Solana ecosystem projects like Solminter, which is the other gem I covered. Both Intersola and Solminter have done well since then. This was one of those gems. Now, Solminter specifically came through the Intersola Launchpad a few weeks back. And what was interesting is the Solana narrative was still a little bit slow, and these were some undiscovered gems that aren't so undiscovered anymore. Now, that isn't to say that these ones won't do well. In fact, my guess is they will. It just isn't this amazing price floor that we experienced a few weeks ago when the buy price was absolutely incredible and too good to pass up. Now, if you are here in YouTube watching this video to make life-changing money, consider subscribing, because we talk about the principles that lead to exactly that, life-changing money. I share with you my contrarian approach that took my own portfolio to massive numbers, even though in the early days I made a lot of mistakes. I did learn from those mistakes, and I don't make those mistakes anymore. And this way of thinking will work for you too, but only if you follow it. And the way I share and the way I think about these things is different than most of what you'll get anywhere else. So what gems are out there worth considering? Well, several, and I'm going to break them down into some categories. The first category being privacy. All right, so in privacy, why privacy? Now, you may not have been around in 2017, but the privacy narrative really went strong, and anything related to the privacy narrative had massive, massive gains. Now, why privacy in general? If you think about one of the curses of the blockchain is that anybody can see every single transaction you make. And as you first think about it, well, what's the big deal with that? Imagine if everybody in the world could have access to see every bank deposit, withdrawal, and transaction and purchase you ever made. And as more money goes to this ecosystem, essentially your wallets can easily be tracked by those with good intentions as well as by those with bad intentions. So privacy is integral to the future of blockchain, because you might not care if most transactions are public, but sometimes there's probably some that you want to be completely private. So with that, there is a project that will be launching very soon through the Intersola blockchain, and that is SolBank. And SolBank offers a Solana wallet which will use ZK Snark technology and a collective piggy bank system similar to Tornado Cash that will keep your transactions privately or private. What I like about it is, additional to that makes sense to me, their SBNK token will be their governance token, and by holding this you'll get some fee discounts, as well as 60% of the total fees will be kicked back to token holders. I like that side of it a lot. 20% will go to the development fund, which you have to fund ongoing development and create that into your system. Otherwise, you can't keep up with technology. But then another 20% will be burned. These kind of tokenomics I love. And if you think about it, there's another thing I want to share in just a second. This token is not yet launched, but for those of you in the Intersola Launchpad or holding those tokens, it will be coming through there. So after that, it will then be tradable on Solana dexes such as Radium. So I think you still have time. Now, if you're in the US, I don't think you can whitelist for Intersola, though I don't know. But if you're not in the US, you should be able to buy the tokens and participate in Intersola's Launchpad and be able to then get some of SolBank directly from there. Now, if you think about the price, if you're able to get the tokens through the Intersola Launchpad, the token prices are just 3 cents, I believe, with a total max supply of tokens of 65 million. Making it possible that if the market cap reaches just 200 million, so imagine those tokens go from 3 cents to $3, and that would take the fully diluted market cap up to 200 million, not even actually the actual market cap. So is that possible? Yes. Is it possible? Plausible? Possibly. Now that will have done over 100x from IDO price, so you might not want to sleep on this one or the Intersola Launchpad. Another huge privacy solution, Monsoon Finance. Now Monsoon is handling things differently. It will allow privacy transactions on every smart contract blockchain. They're developing a multi-chain privacy bridge where you can deposit an asset on one chain and privately withdraw those assets on any other chain. As well as they're developing a multi-chain decentralized bridge where users can deposit an asset on one chain and privately swap it for any asset on any other chain. Monsoon will be able to support multiple smart contract blockchains: Solana, Moonbeam, Polygon, Phantom, and Binance Smart Chain. With Monsoon, the team is very strong, though partially anonymous, as they are developing a privacy solution, and privacy solutions are often frowned on by major government agencies. Through some connections behind the scenes that I've met for the last few months, I was able to make a connection to the team and speak to them directly, and having spoken with them, their backgrounds, at least in my opinion, were very strong. And though I don't usually like anonymous teams, I do when their anonymity makes perfect sense to me. And with the strong backgrounds, for me, I like it, and I like it a lot. Now, the two that I just mentioned aren't out, though SolBank is coming to us very soon. So let's talk about one that is already out and people are sleeping on it, which is one of the things I really like to find, and that's Umbrella. From a super basic viewpoint, Umbrella is essentially Chainlink on steroids. Now, I know this isn't a privacy solution, but you can see, well, actually, you'll see as I share this with you why I really like this one. See, when you think about it, Oracle solutions like Chainlink and even Band, which is a competitor to Chainlink, they bring in one piece of data at a time. So if a DApp needs the price of Bitcoin and USD and ETH and USDT pairings brought in every minute, the Oracle would have to write to the chain 2 times since there are 2 pairings needed. Umbrella is able to aggregate data, allowing them to bring in thousands of data points onto the blockchain in one single transaction. This dramatically reduces the cost for data. It's much faster and allows for more data at any given time. Currently, most oracles have a few hundred data points, but Umbrella currently has 1,200 data pairs. And all of them are free at the moment. And by the end of 2021, the goal is to have 10,000 data pairs. This isn't just going to be crypto data pairs. If there is data available, it can be brought in. Example, you could have real-time weather, sports information, insurance information, real estate data, e-commerce, even the entire S&P 500. The number of data pairs will continue to expand over time. All of this data is aggregated from multiple sources, then they run a consensus on the data to ensure accuracy. This consensus is done through a delegated proof of stake. I won't go into the details with it, but essentially with delegated proof of stake, those that hold the token essentially get to pick the validators, which works good for me. Now, in a recent example, or in an AMA with John Chen, the head of marketing, on how this data can be used, he painted some pictures. Imagine an insurance app needing real-world insurance, or maybe it needs real-world weather information. A gaming app which needs actual random numbers. Did you know that random number generators actually just use an algorithm, and actually that algorithm can be figured out? What if you need something that actually needed random numbers? What about an investment platform which needs pricing data of assets, or digital advertising platforms that need data of the trading of digital media? Some other real-world use cases, well, imagine the Umbrella development community creates an Umbrella bank to show price feeds of an infinite number of tokens across multiple currencies, while keeping your balance information completely up to date. Imagine an umbrella options calculator, which uses the price feeds for an unlimited number of tokens, which is used to help people be able to put in options or puts and calls. Imagine also maybe an umbrella network price bot on Discord, which expands the current price bots to basically any variable that Umbrella tracks. Can you see why I like Umbrella? Now, I know when we were new, this included me, buying high is way more reassuring, at least initially, than buying low. Because we see everybody else buying, it's been going up, we actually feel more confident then, but it actually doesn't usually work out well for us. And as we start to figure things out, we start learning to truly buy low. Umbrella is one you might consider looking into with their market cap at the time of recording of just 17 million. Now, that is down 93% from its highs earlier this year. And yes, for brevity's sake, I know there was a security flaw earlier this year, which has since been remedied, and I like what I saw and personally went pretty large into Umbrella. My opinion, they fixed what had created that security flaw. But the price dumped because of that and just because it was already so high. And so it just hasn't come back to a price, in my opinion, that makes sense for it. At least this was my research and what led me to make my decision. Of course, do your own research and make your own decision as to what you think. All right, other upcoming gems. I think about the gaming ecosystem. And you know I covered Poco Land, which just a week and a half ago. And they recently launched. And you know, if you're not able to get in at the Launchpad, when things launch and go super hot, it's best to wait. Wait for it to cool down. You don't want to pay as somebody did. Some people paid up to $4.60 for the token. I don't remember what the IDO price is, but it was not anything near that. Let's just say it was 10 or 15 cents. Now it's retraced close to 60 cents. And the charts are looking pretty flat, and that's what I like to see more. Now, I don't know their actual market cap, and it's not calculated right now on CoinMarketCap, but we do have the fully diluted market cap, and the fully diluted market cap is 100 million. So my guess is the actual market cap might be around 8 to 10 million at this point. I would have to see their exact token release schedule to know. So I do know that there is a race for play to earn games coming, and I am filtering through those to bring you what I think is the best. Now, do I think that this is an amazing buy at this price? No. I think it's an okay buy at this price. But if it were to go down to a market cap of like 2 to 4 million, that would be an amazing buy. I did like the interview I did with the team. You can watch that in the history of the videos. It was just from like a week and a half ago to see what you think. So doing some filtering on some other ones that haven't yet launched. I don't know which launch pads they will come through, but they're getting close to launching. And Monsta Infinite, I've mentioned it before, but I'm just going to briefly mention these other ones here because each of these deserve their own full video. So I'll be covering them in the days and weeks from here. So Monsta Infinite, one to look out for. Another one, Cornucopias. And then another one, LitCraft Nysperience. Of all the ones, these have teams that have been working for a long time, and these are some of my top ones that I've seen. Now, I have seen a lot of crap, and there will be a lot of crap, and that doesn't mean that the crap won't do well. I just don't know. What I try to look for is certain things that give me a better chance than gambling. And, you know, sometimes gambling pays out, but on average it doesn't. Which is why I like investing. And investing involves looking at things like team, token metrics, some other things going for it. And so that's why I like some of these ones. I didn't want to leave out on this video an upcoming gem that will be launching soon. And that is Polygen. Now, Polygen is a Polygon launchpad. What's interesting about this, there's any number of launchpads these days, but Polygon themselves invested into this launchpad. And what is most important for launchpads in order for them to do well? Well, they have to get some of the best ecosystem projects launching through them, right? Okay, so Polygon themselves invested in this launchpad. Do you think maybe as Polygon gets great projects reaching out to them that are planning on launching, they might be connecting them up to Polygen? That was my thought anyway, and I don't know if it'll play out that way, but my guess is it will. I do want to thank you for joining us. I do have our Rainmaker Army wrap for all you Rainmakers that are giving yourself the education, the time it takes to really let yourself grow, to become great at this. And you're also giving yourself a chance to learn so that your portfolio has a chance to achieve those dreams you are looking for. I do thank you for joining us. If you haven't liked the video, I'd really appreciate it if you did. And if this is the kind of content you're looking for, of course, subscribe and hit the notifications button. Remember, I'm just a human myself. I've only been in crypto investing for 4 years, and yes, I made life-changing wealth. And can you do that? Absolutely you can. In fact, I wasted my first year. My first year did not go well at all, and I ended up worse than where I started. I'll share with you just briefly. So I started in 2017, about October, and I put about $15,000 in. That became about $165,000. That, by mid to late 2018, was probably worth about $3,000, which was basically a wasted first year. I didn't understand about taking profits, which I will be covering. So yeah, now I've been in the space for almost 4 years now, and I have made complete life-changing wealth through this. But honestly, my first year was wasted. 15,000 turned into 3,000. So I hope many of you have a better start than I did, especially if you listen to some of these lessons learned by lots of money burned on my part. But you're always bad at this before you're good, right? And you can learn by one of two ways: by someone else's experience or your own experience. So I hope you learn from some of these things. Now, I am very analytical in nature, and that analytical side has helped me do really well at investing through the years. Though when I came over to crypto, for some reason I thought the same rules did not apply, and yet they do very strongly, probably even more strong than they are in the other things that I was doing. So, share with you the principles that lead me to much better odds and much better returns. Does everything I go for do extremely well? Almost. But they don't always do extremely well right away. Some of them marinate for a while and then blow up. But I'm almost always right. There is a difference, though, between almost always and always. So I'll just say I'm almost always right. And the timeline sometimes takes a little bit longer or sometimes goes faster. But for me, the picks that I've been investing in tend to do pretty well. And so I just share with you my thoughts as well as my systems. Love you guys. We will see you soon. Here is that wrap for all of you Rainmakers.
Came into the space chasing all of the gains, chasing the pumps and all of the hype trains. But like in life, you buy before you're good. Was taught to buy when it was boring like a Rainmaker should. I buy when it's down, don't chase the boats that I miss. Cause I'll always make the time in mind. I sit the one out cause I'm patient like that. And I'll wait for the right time. I sell when it's high, I buy when it's low. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm just a Rainmaker running the show. Calculated investments, I don't lead with my heart. The principles are simple, they're leaving a mark. Why when it's boring, just gotta be smart. I sell when it's hype, like all the channels they pump it. That's when I was selling, go parabolic and dump it. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm a Rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning the past. Makes the time fly by, years going so fast. The game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how. Cause I'm a Rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck. The time is never better, the time like the present. This next 5 years is a gift and it's feeling like heaven. I'm committed to learn, to study and to know that nothing comes easy but when knowledge to gain show. Sticking at this wrong cause soon will come a bear market. Learning and growing and when it's slow will be the target. Naysayers come out, Bitcoin is dead. The massive decreases can get to your head. I'm sticking around, the time is better. I'm strong like that, I'll let the others be fretters. In 2 years time the bull will bring back the gains. That makes it worth the effort cause here comes the rain. So let's go Rainmakers, let's make it all happen. The goal with the hate, let the haters be crapping. I'm here for 5 years, let's do this together. The time is right, the time could be better. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm a Rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning the past. Makes the time fly by, years going so fast. This game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how. Cause I'm a Rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck. Haters be hating, no time to slow down. Addressing what they say when I'm wearing my crown. They're chasing green candles like someone who was new. I got a vision that was bigger, helping me to push through. I'm still human and sometimes it is rough, and that's what makes me special, simply I stay tough. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love, and I follow what I learn, not relying on luck.